Hey, I've only seen one other video on YouTube how to do this, and I think it could have been explained a little better and a little more in depth, so I'm making my own video. All three Index headsets I've owned have gotten dust on the screens in the eye tubes, underneath the lenses. Just a couple weeks ago was the first time I actually opened up the tube to clean it out, and it worked. You just have to be very careful and follow a few steps. So first, you're going to need some tools. You are going to need a T5 screwdriver, a pick and a spudger, and then a microfiber cloth. It can be the one that came with your Index, if it's clean enough, of course. And then before you start working, you want to make sure you have a clean workspace and then somewhere clean to rest your lens so it doesn't get more dust or dirt or grime on it. So the first step is that you have to, of course, take this magnetic face gasket off. The second is that you'll see this faceplate in here. It's held by 4 of these T5 magnetic T5 screws, and they are pretty easy to remove. And then once you remove those, you're going to have to use your pick to pull it away, or to first force it out and then pull it away from the headset. And you want to pull away, directly away from the headset. And that's because there are 2 of these picks holding it in place. And if you try to force it out in a different direction, you may very well damage your headset. And then once you're done with that, you just have to remove this silicone part covering the eye tubes, which isn't very hard. They're not held in place with very strong adhesive. And after that, you have the most delicate part. Well, also make sure there are 2 picks holding these together. Make sure you watch out for those. And then after that, you have the most delicate part, which is actually removing the lens. And what you need to do here is you need to put your spudger on the straight edge near the nose. And what you want to do is make sure that you do not try to force it out, but put pressure on it to the point that it actually comes out. And one important note is that these are actually 2 lenses that are stuck together, and you do not want to separate them, which I did a little tiny bit here. I put tape on it, which I just took off, but yeah, they're just a little bit separated there, but they're held with adhesive for most of it. And I don't know if you can see there, but I have 2 specks right there, or actually one right there as well. And these are not too much of a problem. I'm going to try and get them out, maybe with like a pipe cleaner or something. I'd certainly much rather have these than dust on the screen. And that's because these do cause, like, they're not in focus. If you're on a like really bright or white scene, they will cause a little bit of darkness in that area, but you'll only notice it if you're looking for it, as opposed to the dust on the lenses look more like dead pixels. So after you have, oh, and then you can maybe use heat to try and loosen the adhesive here. Of course, do that at your own risk. You might damage the rest of the headset. And then after that's done, you can take your microfiber cloth and then wipe the inside, wipe the screen. Now, something that is another step that I would recommend you do at your own risk, but can also be useful, is to actually then, before putting all of this together, is just put this back into its spot and then plug it back into the PC, make sure that the base stations are off, and then that way the headset will display gray. Then you go into your settings, which you can do on the desktop, and make it set at 160 brightness, the maximum brightness, and that way you can look around, make sure that you got all the dust out of your headset, and clean it out if you didn't, because I actually had to do that a few times. I still need to get the dust out of this lens. I have like 2 tiny pieces left in this, but it's way better than like the 17 I had before. Some of them were like in the middle of the screen, so that was very obnoxious and annoying. But thankfully, you can just clean out the dust inside of your headset. You do not need to buy a new index, and you do not need to buy the replacement iTube off of iFixit, because you can buy an entire replacement iTube, which comes with the lens, the tube, and the screen, but that costs $130 per tube, and also is one of the most difficult repairs to do on this headset, because you essentially need to take the entire thing apart. You need to take off all of the front pieces, the motherboard, just to get, and you have to also remove the IPD adjustment mechanism just to be able to get access those lenses. So this is certainly much easier than taking the entire headset apart. I really wish they sold these lenses separately, because I mean, they can obviously get scratched, they can break. I, of course, screwed up a little bit and have to fish those little specks out of mine. But I mean, for the most part, it still works fine. And I think because of there's also a little bit of uh, like glare here, but I think that's because I just like had my hand or finger over it and oils got on it. So just be careful not to do that, and uh, you should be good. I just cleaned out the right screen and the left lens, and wow, the improvement is astronomical. I didn't even use the microfiber cloth for the right screen. I actually used canned air. And on the other screen, the microfiber cloth could not only pick up dust, but it could also leave some behind, meaning I kept having to use it over and over to get a perfect result. The cloth can also leave smudges on the screen, but that's not really visible in the headset. So it seemed like using canned air was the way to go. With just a couple blasts, all the dust was gone from the screens. I also used it from the left screen, which still had like 3 tiny pieces of dust. It also got the little chips out of the left lens that were in between the lenses. And I initially tried to use a pipe cleaner for that, which didn't really work. And also got a little tiny chip in the like inside the lenses, which you can't really see on this video, but that's not really perceptible in VR anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I also used a hair dryer to help loosen the right lens out of its eye tube, and I used both this plastic, I guess you'd call it a spudger, and this metal spudger, which worked pretty well for me. I didn't dislodge the 2 lenses from each other this time. I then booted up SteamVR, and when I looked for dust, I didn't see any. I haven't seen my index screens so clear since I first got it. It's so awesome to have my headset feel like new again. Something I forgot to mention, if your index is still under warranty, so it's been less than a year since you received it, just RMA it. Opening up your index may void your warranty. Just get in contact with Steam support. That's the reason I got 3 indexes. Frankly, I wish I had RMA'd this index when it got its dust inside it. Then I wouldn't have had to open it up. And I wish I had opened it up 2 years ago. Oh well. So that's it. Like this video if it helped you, and share it to anyone who you think would benefit from it. Thanks for watching. Bye.